To follow breaking news this morning, a man has died after being shot in North Nashville, and now officers are investigating what happened. Let's check in with Cuthbert Langley. He's been at the North Police Precinct for us all morning. And Cuthbert, just a short time ago, they caught the guy who they think is the suspect.
Amy, yes, that's what police tell us. They made an arrest around 5:45 this morning, arresting the suspected gunman in all of this. But there are still lots of questions this morning that have yet to be answered. Why the shooting happened and who all was involved. Police are still interviewing witnesses and looking over surveillance video. They have not released the identity of that suspect yet. We do know he will be that person will be charged with homicide. If there are any additional charges, we will expect to learn that a little bit later on today. Here's how this all began. Around 9:30 last night, two brothers went to the Little Barn convenience store on Clarksville Pike here in North Nashville. Now, you can see the crime scene there centers on that car in the middle of the road. Police say two men who were brothers went to that convenience store when a man pulled up and started talking with them. For some reason, something happened and the two brothers tried to escape from that convenience store, and that's when police say the suspect pulled out a gun and started shooting.
The driver felt uncomfortable with the conversation that was going on and attempted to leave the scene. As they left the parking lot, they heard shots ring out. The passenger in the vehicle was struck by the gunfire.
And police say that is the younger brother of the driver shot and killed. The older brother tried to drive the victim to the hospital. They got a little ways down from the original scene itself, but the driver there said the injuries looked too severe, so he called for help. But by the time EMS officials arrived on scene and drove the victim to the hospital, he was already dead. So again, still lots of questions this morning, but police say they do have a suspect in custody, and we expect to learn a lot more a little bit later on today. Now, when it comes down to motive, do police have any idea about that? We'll talk more about that coming up at 7:30. For now, we're live here at the North Police Precinct. I'm Cuthbert Langley, News Channel 5 HD.
All right, Cuthbert, thank you very much. And not far away, an SUV goes crashing into a fence, and the search is on for the driver. This happened around 4 o'clock this morning right there along Rosa Parks near Clarksville Pike, just really within eyeshot of the North Precinct there. As soon as we find out more details about who that driver may have been or they catch the person, we'll pass that on to you. Some new information this morning on a bizarre stabbing that sent a man to the hospital. Police found an unresponsive man at an East Nocturne Drive apartment. An officer had pulled over the man's girlfriend, and she was covered in blood. She told police that, yes, she stabbed the victim during an argument the night before. She was taken into custody. So far, though, no charges have been filed. It's unclear how severe the man's injuries are.
After more than a month on the run, the man accused of shooting a home is finally in custody. Montre Brown was arrested over the weekend and charged with attempted murder. The Kentucky New Era reports that Brown's accused of firing multiple shots into a vehicle and a home in Hopkinsville back in April. Fortunately, no one was hurt. A second person, Tony Bradshaw, is also charged with endangerment in connection to that shooting.
A vigil is taking place today for the high school senior that was killed during a tragic car crash over the weekend. Troopers tell us 17-year-old Nick Townsend was hit head-on by a drunk driver along Highway 52 in Portland late Friday. That teen was rushed to the hospital where he died Sunday morning. Nick's mom talked with us yesterday, said her son always tried to help others and one day was hoping to become a police officer.
I've never felt this pain in my life. And I think that it's probably going to become a part of who I am. And I hope and pray that anybody that wants to drink and drive, text and drive, or drug and drive, keep the story in their heart and don't do it.
She is so right, and our thoughts are with her this morning. Nick was supposed to graduate from Portland High School Saturday. A public candlelight vigil will take place tonight there at the school at 7:30. Meantime, let's talk about the suspected drunk driver. She's accused of hitting Nick, and now she's charged with vehicular homicide. There's the picture of Laura Beasley. She's 31 years old, and get this, she had a 2-year-old child in the car with her at the time of that head-on crash. DCS now has that child with a relative.
New dash cam video showing a suspected intoxicated driver getting busted for driving the wrong way.
So how many of these have you had today?
This is dash cam video from Mount Juliet officer Melody Stevenson's patrol car. On Saturday, she just pulled over a driver for going the wrong direction down an off-ramp on I-40. Fortunately, the officer was in the right place at the right time and stopped that car before it drove into oncoming traffic. We've seen in recent months how devastating and deadly that can be. We're told this man, Robert Benter, had an opened 40-ounce beer in the passenger seat. He was arrested and is now facing his second DUI charge. All right, check this out. A small plane was forced to make an emergency landing on a Kentucky highway. It happened yesterday on Highway 30 in Laurel County. We're told the pilot ran into some mechanical trouble, but fortunately, no one was hurt. We're told the plane took off from Wabash, Indiana, and was headed to London, Kentucky, which is over in the eastern part of the state.